Okay. Ooh, this is actually really fitting. So this is wine of the day number 14 for Valentine's Day. That's funny. February 14th. And it's wine of the day number 14. So anyway, Stephanie's going to let us know. Oh, Gino, actually, could you, Stephanie's going to let us know how the sound is since we're open right now. So there might be some other noises happening right now. But she hasn't. Okay, so anyway, well, so fun. For Valentine's Day, we're going to taste a few rosés, and I'm going to taste these blind, which is kind of fun. So impromptu, Mike from Wine Gardeners is here, and he has some.
Ask Stephanie how it sounds.
How does this sound, Stephanie? Did she say?
Sound great.
Okay, great. Good. I just wanted to make sure before I started talking. Okay, so Mike offered me this impromptu blind tasting, which I am always happy to blind taste anything, but super fun to blind taste on camera. And there were a couple of things I just wanted to say about blind tasting that's kind of fun, which is, so blind tasting, you can make a big thing about it. You can talk about, you can plan a big tasting, which is super fun to do, but even if you're just blind tasting with one other person, if you want to learn a lot about wine, blind tasting is a really fun way to hone your skills, your sensory skills with identifying wine and figuring out wine and understanding wine on a sensory level better, because you're taking away a visual. So you're kind of putting more energy into what aromas am I getting from the wine? What does the wine taste like? Because you don't have a bottle to look at. You're not filling your mind with other preconceived notions about the wine. So anyways, if you want to really hone your skills, your sensory skills as far as wine tasting goes, and understanding, flavors and people are always saying to me, I don't know how you pick out flavors in wine, and it is hard to do. But blind tasting is a way to help you do that. Obviously, you need another person to kind of, Mike has brown bagged these wines for me, so I have no idea what they are. So you need someone else to be able to do that for you and pour the wine so that you don't know, what you're tasting. But it's just a really great way to be able to perceive those flavors and aromas and tastes in wine that you can't put your finger on when you do a blind tasting. So anyway, so we're going to taste through these today. Another thing about tasting and honing your tasting skills when it comes to wine, I was going to say, wanted to share with you, is that the morning is a really awesome time to blind taste. And before you eat, before you have a big meal, before you have a big lunch, because when you're hungry, your sensory, your senses, smell and taste are just more fine-tuned, and I feel like you get a lot more. So that seems like counterintuitive, right? Like you're going to be tasting wine in the morning, but whenever when I was working in production for at wineries, tasting in the morning is usually when you will assess wines, when you're doing blending, when you're any tastings you're doing. The morning is a great time to taste wine. So that's not ideal for most of you and people who have jobs, but a Saturday or Sunday blind tasting in the morning, that's always fun. Of course, in the evening you can too, but your senses are heightened before you eat a big meal for the day, and that's a great way too to kind of fine-tune what you're smelling and tasting in wines. Okay, let's taste these. So Mike has given me a couple of clues here, and I might ask him some questions and he might chime in. So 2 of these are blends and 2 are single varietals, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and which 2 are blends, from this way, so these 2 are blends?
No.
Nope. So these 2 are blends, and these 2 are single variety. Okay. Again, like my other blind tastings, if I totally get this wrong, please still watch my videos. This is a really, really hard thing to do. And don't feel bad. You shouldn't feel bad. Like, blind tasting is so hard, especially if you have anything other than your standard varieties that we all are very familiar with. Cabernet, Pinot Noir, Sauvignon Blanc. Those are fairly easy varieties to identify, and Yeah, so it's more about having fun and honing your skills than it is about getting it right. Of course, I am trying to, get it right. But anyways, it's just a fun thing to do too. And I have no idea what these are, like I said, but are they all rosé? Even though this one's really light.
And with the blended ones, I think you should maybe focus on maybe location.
Yeah.
And not as much on the grade.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Sounds good. So with blends, you're trying to maybe identify more the terroir than you are what grapes they are, because when you have a blend of different grapes, it's really hard to pick out. Sometimes an individual grape that's very, very distinctive will stand out amongst the blend, but it's probably more about terroir. Guessing the place will probably be what I'm going to do for these blended wines. And then the single varieties, are they 100%? Or are they just, okay, they're 100%. And a lot of times single variety wines are only, by law in the US, they only have to be 75% of a wine. So a lot of times you do have other wines for single variety wines, but these are 100% single variety. I also kind of wanted to show you, these are really, really, really pretty rosés. They are very, very delicate in color and really gorgeous. So these are going to be really fun to taste. I kind of want a white piece of paper to hold up against these so that you guys can see. Mom, can you give Mike a white piece of paper so I can show people the colors of these? Oh, perfect. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so I don't know if that helps. Hopefully that makes it a little bit of a better visual for you guys, and maybe you can see how these are a really, really pretty pale pink color. Anyway, they're very pretty. So that might give me a clue too as to what we're tasting. Okay, let's just go through. I'm going to smell these really quickly. Okay. Any comments so far?
Stephanie said, wine before 9.
Wine before 9. That's our new motto. Wine before 9 a.m. Okay, that's a little fruitier. Okay, thanks. So the last one, okay, and I like to, we talked about blind tasting a couple times before, I like to just do a really quick initial impression. I kind of want to write down my thoughts, but that's okay. I got something really distinct in this one that I think I know what it is, but I can't put my finger on it, which is so true with blind tasting. It's definitely got fruit. A lot of fruit. Okay. Let's just leave that there. Let's do the blends first and see if I can guess region. So that seems to have a lot of like minerality, but maybe some tropical fruit. So crazy light in color. Okay, and then this is also a good exercise. We talked about that one tasting I did where we tasted the Patricia Green wines, domestic Pinot Noir against Burgundy, and then the domestic Sauvignon Blanc against Pouilly-Fumé. And we talked about Old World, New World. So I'm trying to keep this in mind when I'm guessing region. Like, am I getting fruit on the finish, or am I getting minerality on the finish? And what do you say for Old World, New World? Do you say fruit on the finish for domestic, and then do you have like a guiding
On domestic rosé?
And well, just in general, Old World versus New World on all wines. What do you have kind of defining things?
For the New World is going to be more fruit forward, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
Especially with the rosés, and you're going to see different colors.
Yep. That's very light. I do get some tropical fruit on the finish. I also know that Mike doesn't have a ton of domestic wines in his portfolio. So especially rosé. So that might be a big I could kind of calculate my chances here.
You're onto the weather aspect of it.
I'm onto the weather aspect of it.
So stay on that.
So warm.
Stay on that vein,
I'm on a warm weather vein because I'm getting ripeness. This is really pretty too. These all have really pretty noses, by the way. This has like a fruity, almost like a I'm getting a little bit of like that brewer's yeast sort of character on this. I don't know why. I could be smelling like bread baking. Okay, that I get a little bit more alcohol on. No, I'm not going to interpret Mike's faces. Just stick with what you're thinking. Don't get deviated by what you think other people expect you to say or something. Just go with what your gut instinct is. That's the best. Yeah, Mike said stick with your gut, and that's the best advice when you are blind tasting. Okay, that's very pretty and tasty, but I do get a lot of acidity on the finish now. It almost seems like, and it might not at all, but I'm getting like almost like it might have had oak on it or something, but it doesn't mean that it does. Okay, those are very pretty blended rosés. I have no idea.
Quick reveal or quick
Should we?
synopsis on the blendeds, and then go ahead and reveal those two.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then do the single variety separately. Okay, so this is very light. I'm gonna go with they're both Old World because I don't get a ton. They're very light. They're very light in color. They have lots of acidity. They have lots of clean, nice fruity flavors, but not as much fruit as I would just expect a domestic rosé to have. So I'm just going to go with Old World on these. So we'll say that for both of them. Here's my last little sip of this. Okay, so there's that. I don't know what it is, but where are some places rosé might be from? France has some amazing rosés. I know Mike has some amazing Corsican rosés.
Okay, that sounds good. Let me get your phone. Okay, what's your phone number?
This has a heaviness and more of a viscosity than the other rosé. And I have no idea what either of these are, but I'm going to go with French. And maybe they're, maybe they are, hysterical. I need some more, Mike.
Okay.
I won't look while you pour me a splash of those two. And then I'll make a decision quickly so that you guys don't have to suffer through me. What?
Hi.
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
Is it still recording?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I was on the phone, so I was going to call you back.
Is it still
But
recording?
call through the cell phone. Is that okay? Are we going to stay live?
I think so. Is it? It should say.
It should, I think it says live. So.
Yeah, then you're fine. Yeah, we're good. Okay. I'm tasting a little bit more of these.
Just go ahead and get me 2 small slices.
Okay. I'm getting like some tropical characters that are really interesting.
No. Oh, I bet it's sunny up there. Yeah.
Kind of floral, really pretty, really light. I'm gonna go with like Provence, maybe Rhone. Close. I got close. For the first one. Oh, Domaine de Fonsan, Gris de Gris. That's so good. Corbière. So that's a region kind of outside all of those. Mom? Corbière. Where would you say that is? So Languedoc. So southern France, kind of probably south central France to the west of the Rhone and Provence regions. And what would be the varieties on this, Mike?
So we're looking at, Grenache Gris, 50% Grenache Noir,
Grenache
20,
Gris, interesting.
Carignan 20, 5% Cisso, 5% Mourvedre.
So Grenache Gris, which I have never. Is that another name for Trousseau, or no? Is that totally different?
I think
That's different. Okay. So Grenache Gris, Cinsault, Mourvedre, Carignan. That's the blend on that.
and Grenache Noir 20.
And Grenache Noir. Okay. So interesting. Cool. Yeah.
Which they also use to make some of their red wines.
Okay. So Domaine de Fonsan, is that what you're talking about? Domaine de Fonsan's red? Yeah, they make a delicious red wine, actually, that's very, very good, that I love. These aren't expensive. What would this retail for? Ish.
15, 16.
Yeah, delicious. A really great buy for a very, very light, clean, fruitful, but lots of acidity, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful rosé. So that's from the Corbière region, which is close to Côte du Rhône and Provence. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that.
Well, you were right on the former region.
And I would not have even, Corbière would not have even been in my mind as a region. So, but that's a great little region for some wonderful value wines from France. Also, I should tell you all that Mike is our rep through Weingartner's Wines for Kermit Lynch here in Northwest Montana. And we, as you know, I've tasted several Kermit Lynch wines, and I love those wines. So those are beautiful. So anyway, let's get on to this next little blend really quick. Also, if I were like really keeping my head about me, I probably would be spitting these wines, but I'm drinking them, but that's okay. So it does get harder, like if you're doing this in real, if you're spitting wines, which is totally acceptable at a wine tasting, tasting at a winery, then you would want to spit them because you do kind of get a little tipsy as you're tasting through these. But these are really, really little tastes, so I'm not really worried about that. But I haven't eaten yet today, so. Anyway, okay, this has got a little bit more red fruit to me on it. It does have a little bit more color than that first one. I also get a bit of ripeness on the nose. I'm blind tasting. I have a little audience. Live audience, I should say, like live in-person audience. Okay, so this has a little more like crunch to me, a little bit more texture. So I'm thinking, this might be. I still think Old World. I'm also, it could be Pinot because it has a lot of red fruit on it. I'm gonna say Pinot Noir Rosé from France. That's what I'm saying. Oh, it doesn't. He threw me a curveball. Oh, nice. Oh, wow. So not Old World. Domestic. That's a domestic wine. So it did have a lot of fruit, but it also had so much acidity that I thought it was an Old World wine and a beautiful light color. This is delicious. This is tasting really good. So Les Rascas Rosé, the Railsback brothers make this, and one of the brothers works for Kermit Lynch.
Wow. Yeah.
Lyle works for Kermit Lynch, and he makes this wine with his brother. So Santa Ynez Valley, so central coast of California. What are the grapes on this?
50% Grenache, 25 Carignan, and 25 Cinsault.
So actually kind of like the same blend as the first one we tried.
And it's supposed to be mirrored after rosé.
Mirrored after so trying to kind of imitate a really nice Provence rosé And I'd say they got pretty close. So what does this retail for ish?
About 22, 23.
So about $22 or $23 for this. Delicious. Love it. That's
Also
great.
made, Forbes magazine of top seven rosés you should be drinking last year.
It's really good, and I have had this before, but I haven't had it in a while, and it's
I
good.
think the wine's better than it was 6 months ago.
I would agree, because the last time I had it, I mean, it was good, and sometimes wine, and that's what I love about wine too, is sometimes you'll have it one time and then you'll drink it, 2, 3, 6 months later, and it tastes totally different, and a lot of times better, actually. I think most wines do well with a low bottle age. Okay, so we're going to leave those there. So one Old World, one New World there, both kind of the same Provence sort of, Southern French varieties. Cinsault, Grenache, Carignan, Mourvedre. So, okay, let's do the single variety ones. These are warming up and they're getting a little more fragrant too. So, I'm getting a lot of also like strawberry character on that, some citrusy notes on the finish. Just a chocolate. These are both reminding me of like Pinot Gris right now for some reason. I don't know why, and I don't know what they are. We're filming our wine tasting. You ladies, are you in the mood for some rosé? A glass of rosé? Is it too early for you? No. Really? You'd fall asleep. You'd fall asleep. Yeah.
I'll join you in the coffee tasting.
Okay, great. We'll have to do a coffee tasting.
How are you?
So this is like super, super fruity, tropical.
Okay.
It's my turn this time.
That I get a lot of riper characters on there. I'm trying to do a blind wine tasting here.
Hey, that looks great.
Thanks. They're all delicious. Okay, I better just make some guesses here because
Yeah, and you
I'm gonna
should
go-
probably, since they're both single varietals, and go ahead and reveal them both at the same time.
okay. Same time reveal. Are they the same variety?
Yes.
Oh, that's a big hint.
And I'll give you one more hint. They're from the same location as well.
Same location as well. All right, well, these are also very light in color, very pretty, a lot of acidity. Okay, I'm just going to have to go with Pinot Noir and French. That's what I'm going to have to go with.
Got it.
Round Burgundy, maybe. Okay, cool. Yay! Ooh, that's delicious. Sancerre. I love this, actually. So this is Kermit 2, and am I sold out of the Sancerre?
You got some mags up there. But
Oh, here we go. The regular Sancerre, which is 100% Sauvignon Blanc, is absolutely delicious. And then this is the rosé, and Sancerre, red or rosé, would be 100% Pinot Noir, right? Sancerre.
yeah.
So we talked about region, and well, this is Loire. It's not Burgundy. So Loire, Pinot Noir rosé, yummy. I could drink that every day. Delicious. These have a lot of fruit for Old World. At least blind, they seem to have
17, so
a warmer vintage.
better.
Okay. Ooh, and another Sancerre. So both from the Loire Pinot Noir Rosé. That's delicious too. And I love the red version of this. Is one of my favorites. 100% Pinot Noir. I have a red version of that. That's really good. So these are both from Kermit Lynch. So I should tell you the producers. So Chotard, Sancerre Rosé, and then Reverdy, right? Sancerre Rosé. Both really delicious. Yum. So
Pretty different though, right?
different, yeah. I almost thought this like was approaching like New World, and like it had a lot of tropical fruit, which was kind of interesting. Now that I know what it is, obviously, like once you see it, then your perception totally changes, which is what's fun about blind tasting. Like I was saying, okay, so really fun blind tasting of rosés. These are all delicious rosés. So if you see these out here, and what would be like price points for the Chotard Sancerre Rosé? Ish, 25 retail for the Chotard and 25 for the Reverdy Sancerre. And they're really beautiful, both very, very beautiful rosés. Fun for Valentine's Day. Thanks for joining us on Wine of the Day number 14. Thank you, Mike, for an impromptu blind tasting. Always fun to probably see it's always fun to kind of see other people squirm and try to figure out like trick them, or not that you were trying to trick me, but anyways, super fun. Thank you, Mike, for those, and Wine Gardeners and Kermit Lynch. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for Wine of the Day number 15. Bye.